Cornell University's campus is huge. So huge, in fact, that we have our own zip code. The setting is rural, and the size is about 745 acres. There are nearly 14,000 undergraduates, 13,935 to be exact. To me, both the social and landscape aspects stand out. Socially because it seems as though everyone is so friendly. And for me at least, that's true. Everyone I've met is very open, nice, kind, friendly, social. And the landscape aspect stands out to me because the campus is beautiful. The scenery, it seems surreal. Everything's so green, the grass is so green, the trees are amazing. Because of the beautiful scenery of the campus, the landscape is what stands out to me. My favorite building is Uris Library. It was actually this university's first library. There are many others, including MAN, Olin, which is right across from Uris, Africana Studies and Research, and ILR, Industrial Labor Relations, among many others, but these are what I would deem the most well-known on campus. Uris is my favorite because, one, it's a library, and ever since I was younger, I loved being surrounded by books. It's very quiet too, which is exactly the kind of environment I need to be able to study and focus. 3, there are so many different rooms. My favorite one is located in the basement, and it's called the Cocktail Lounge because of the way it's set up. And 4, this was actually the first building that I was showed or given a tour of by my sister, who was a sophomore at the time, and I was a junior in high school. The food on campus is amazing. We've been ranked number 3 in top 10 college dining halls and number 1 in Ivy League best dining hall food. There's so much variety. I remember my first day on campus as a student in the dining hall. I had no idea what to eat because everything looks so good. There are different stations or different lines that people go to for different types of foods that they want to eat. In one dining hall, for example, there are multiple on campus, but in one dining hall closest to where I used to live last year, there were stations for pizza, pasta, desserts, stir fry, grill, where you can have hamburgers, hot dogs, cheeseburgers, ice cream. There was a salad bar, a waffle bar, and a couple more. Now at Cornell, students have the option, if they are sophomores, juniors, or seniors, to live on or off campus. Freshmen have to live on campus, on North. How it's divided is that there's a North campus where freshmen live. There's a Central campus, which is where the academic buildings and the classes are held. And there's a West campus where a lot of the upperclassmen live. There is also, if you keep going past Central campus, a town called College Town, which is off campus, but there are still a lot of upperclassmen that decide to live there. If living on campus, students live in dormitories, or another name for them would be residence halls. The pros and cons of living off campus. The cons are that, 1, you'd have to be able to take care of yourself. In other words, you likely won't have a meal plan, for example. A meal plan is what students have in order to get into the dining halls. So you'd have to purchase your own meals and groceries and feed yourself. You'd also have to clean up after yourself, whereas those who live on campus have staff who clean through the suites and the bathrooms, but not your room actually. And the pros to living off campus are that there are no RAs, and an RA is a resident advisor. They're present in the residence halls on campus, and they work to make sure that students aren't breaking rules, everything's in order, and whatnot. But off campus, There isn't anyone to tell you what you have to do, when it should be done. There's no one enforcing any rules off campus. And you're free to make your own decisions. That's another pro, that you're becoming more independent. I personally, during my summer vacation currently, I'm living off campus. Although I'm still very close to the main campus from university, I'm staying off campus, living off campus, and working on campus. It was kind of a rough transition from living on campus last academic year on North and coming to live off and it was a lot easier when I lived on campus because after a full day of classes or working and studying, it was easy to just take my Cornell ID card and go to the dining hall and be swiped in. That's what we call it when students use their ID cards, and those who swipe us in use our cards to see whether or not we're eligible to even enter the dining halls. So it was a kind of a challenging transition because now I'm forced to make my own meals and take on more responsibilities as I'm becoming more independent and not being able to rely on others as I had so easily last semester and the semester before that. Now the pros of living on campus are that 1, you're likely closer to central campus and the academic buildings in your classes, so it wouldn't be as difficult to get there. Number 2, you likely have a meal plan and you can simply swipe into the dining halls whenever you please. 3, there's no curfew. The same as when you live off campus. So you're not expected to be in the halls, the residence halls, at a certain time of night. The doors are locked, but if you have your student ID, you can enter at any time of the day. The cons of living on campus would be the opposite of the pros for living off campus, because there are RAs who keep close watch over you. Whereas if you're living off campus, you don't have to worry about adhering to any rules or guidelines, and not having as many opportunities to grow in your independence is another con. You're not practicing self-reliance. I chose, or actually I had no choice as a freshman, but to live on North Campus. I lived on campus in a residence hall called Ujima, and it's a program house that seeks to celebrate African culture and heritage. There are other program houses and regular residence halls on North Campus. A few of the other program houses are called Risley, which is a theater house. Students interested in the dramatic arts can choose to live here. The LLC, the Latino Living Center, which celebrates Latino culture and heritage. Oguego, Native American Program House. And Jam, just about music. Students who are interested in music can choose to live in this house. And the rest of the dorms are normal residence halls. I honestly don't think that Cornell has any weaknesses. Although others might say that the academic workload is too much, or there shouldn't be too many hills because it's physically taxing. But I really do think that Cornell is a strength in itself. The campus is beautiful. The people are truly amazing, very friendly, sociable, open, and really diverse. The food is delicious. The classes sure aren't easy, but challenges are good. We have a bus system that runs at all times of the day and night. There are even events that happen every weekend, or perhaps every day, through countless student organizations. The professors are generally very understanding. I think everything about Cornell is a strength. My most rewarding experience has been meeting people from all over the world with such diverse backgrounds. For example, I met one Caucasian girl who was born in Honduras and had lived there as a child. Another boy has parents from Puerto Rico and India. My closest friend was born and raised in Nigeria and moved here when she was 9. Another girl I worked with came from Korea at the age of 7. Another girl has parents from Syria, Uruguay, and Italy. And another boy in my chemistry lab when he found that I was interested, took great joy in telling me that his family was from Persia. I really love to learn about people's backgrounds and their heritage. I find it so fascinating, and to come upon so many different individuals here at Cornell who have come from all over the world and brought with them their values, their funds of knowledge, and cultural ideals makes me feel so lucky to be attending this university. My most challenging experience was making it through general chemistry. On top of taking the required classes for my Spanish major, I am to fulfill the requirements as a pre-medical student, which include taking the classes general chemistry, organic chemistry, biology, physics, and 2 semesters of math, calculus, or statistics. Last year I took Gen Chem, and it was certainly the hardest class I'd ever taken in my life. I dedicated so much time to it, and I couldn't tell you how often I got so frustrated about being confused about material. So it was challenging to keep up with my responsibilities in the class because the course content was so hard for me to grasp. 3 words to describe Cornell would be diverse, challenging, and communal. Cornell is very diverse. According to this year's statistics, 33% of the students on campus are minorities. That is, of Latino, African American, Indian American, or Native American backgrounds. Cornell is well known for its engineering department, law school, medical school, Weill Cornell Medical College, architecture, and its top-ranked College of Veterinary Medicine. My first semester of college, I took General Chemistry 2070, Spanish 2090, Intermediate Composition and Conversation, NS 1150, Nutrition, Health, and Society, and English, or as we call it here, Freshman Writing Seminar, and it was entitled Memoir and Memory. My second semester, which ended about a month ago, I took General Chemistry 2080, the second semester course for Gen Chem. I also took Spanish 2190, Intermediate Composition and Conversation 2, Latinos in the U.S., Spanish 3020, a supplement class to Latinos in the U.S., for students just wanting to practice their Spanish speaking skills, African American Autobiographies, my second semester freshman writing seminar, and Spanish 2140, Readings in Modern Iberian Literatures. I took all of these classes to fulfill a requirement. For example, all of my Spanish classes count toward my major, General Chemistry for pre-med, Latinos in the U.S. for my minor in Latino Studies, and my English classes to fulfill the requirement that students complete 2 semesters of a freshman writing seminar. My worst class, as I described before, was General Chemistry. I hadn't bombed or failed the class, but I hadn't done as well in it as I'd have liked. My favorite professor's name is Nilsa Maldonado Mendez. She's from Puerto Rico, and she taught the class Spanish 2190. She was my favorite because she was so interesting and engaging. I was never bored in her class, and my Spanish comprehension, speaking skills, listening skills, and whatever type of skills improved dramatically. I would say that Cornell is more academically inclined than socially. Cornell has more than 500 student organizations on campus, which range from the Big Red Marching Band, Big Red is our mascot, to the Spanish Debate Club. Cornell has an active Greek life with about 70 total fraternities and sorority chapters, and we also have more than 30 Division I varsity teams that compete in the Ivy League. Last year, I was most actively involved with the organizations C2C Pals, Baraka Kwa Wimbo, and Friends of Farm Workers. Now, Culture to Culture Pals, C2C Pals, a social entrepreneurship organization that empowers progressive, ambitious leaders, PALs, to participate in innovative project-based initiatives around the world And we have partnered with the Sandcastle Learning Center in Roatan, Honduras, to provide children in elementary to middle school with e-mentorship and educational support. Baraka Kwawimbo, Swahili for Blessings Through Song, is an all-female gospel a cappella group, and our purpose is to spiritually and culturally enlighten the Cornell community and surrounding areas. Friends of Farm Workers, FOF, is an organization committed to addressing immigration concerns, gathering immigration materials for farm workers, increasing farm workers' knowledge of state and federal regulations, and providing support for cultural understanding of those individuals who produce our nation's food. The farm workers' knowledge of little to no English decreases their means for self-advocacy and involvement in the broader community. Thus, Friends of Farm Workers, FOF, addresses this issue by training volunteers to teach English as a second language, ESL, on local farms throughout Tompkins County, New York. There are numerous study abroad options and organizations offered by both the university and social groups on campus. Many students each year study abroad through Cornell Abroad, that is, through the university. Many others can choose to volunteer in Nicaragua through a student group called Bridges to Community, in Peru through GlobeMed or MedLife, or students can choose to intern abroad in a variety of areas, including health, business, public service, and many more, through AIESEC, AIESEC. I didn't go abroad through any of these organizations, but I hope to study abroad in Peru during the spring of 2014 through Cornell Abroad. Over the weekend, people usually party, hang out with friends, sometimes even go back home to visit family, attend social events on campus, and most of the time study and catch up on work. Greek life is pretty big here. I'm pretty sure that every other student I've met belongs to a sorority or a fraternity. 76% of the male students belong to a fraternity, and 80% of female students are a part of a sorority. I personally am not. Ice hockey, basketball, and football are Cornell's popular sports. Besides these are baseball, gymnastics, volleyball, track and field, fencing, lacrosse, cross country, swimming, and many more, although they're not as popular as the three I mentioned. I'm not sure which sport Cornell is worst at because we've heard distinctions and much success from each of the teams. The teams are made up of both professionals and inexperienced athletes, although the majority of students who decide to join a sports team in college are most likely experienced in that sport. I did not and do not plan on playing a sport here. The only school I applied to was Cornell. It was my first and only choice. I applied early decision in November. I chose Cornell for a multitude of reasons. Number one being that I come to visit several times in high school because my sister was already a student. I felt one with the school. I absolutely loved the beautiful campus, the friendliness and the helpfulness of the people, especially my sister's friends, and the countless academic and social opportunities. I was in the top 10% of my class of about 500 students in high school, and I had a 4.38 GPA. I took 5 APs by the end of my high school career. Someone who is open-minded, friendly, and a lover of learning would be perfect for Cornell. Here, it's inevitable that you'll meet new people, make new friends, encounter new ideas and things that you may have never encountered before, and most certainly encounter people of diverse backgrounds and interests. One who is culturally understanding and always willing to broaden his horizons will fit right in at this college. I think that upon reading my application, the admissions committee was excited about my involvement within the community. I was a member of a few service clubs, and I even started a couple of my own in my town. I also started my own business teaching music theory and piano to children in the community. I believe that my innovation is what set me apart, and setting oneself apart is exactly how you will fit in at Cornell University. My advice to those interested would be to get involved. One thing I've learned while here is that Cornell loves when their students take advantage of both the academic and extracurricular activities offered to them. Make sure you're involved, even now, in your community or school, and show the admissions committee that you're one who will be very involved within their own academic and undergraduate program.